Last year, we reached over 1 million accounts for 6 months straight, even though our combined social media audience only had about 80,000 followers. I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with numbers, like me, but the numbers we're going to talk about today are easy to understand. So let's talk about how to use data to grow your community.
Let's define two key terms: reach, also known as impressions, and engagement. Reach refers to the number of streams your content ends up on, either through your followers or explore page features on a particular platform. It's usually a pretty high number that looks great in your media kit. Engagement refers to the number of actions that are taken on your posts, like shares, saves, comments, and likes. They refer to the way that people are actually interacting with your content. So the number is often lower than your impressions, but it's still extremely important to keep track of. Back in the day, social media was all about getting more likes on your content. But savvy digital creators know that you should really be focused on building high engagement, because those kinds of actions demonstrate true and legitimate interest in your content. Likes are passive, whereas comments, saves, and shares are very active displays of interest that speak to the return on investment that then lead to a larger community and potentially better ROI on client projects. So you definitely want to focus on improving those numbers.
Here's an example of how you can use trending topics to your advantage by understanding the data. At Black Foodie, recipes are a regular part of our content mix on social media and on our website too. At the beginning of the pandemic, there were so many conversations in news outlets and on social media regarding baking at home. I even went and I ordered some flour online, like I was in it. So we saw increased traffic to our recipes and articles about cooking at home and baking. On social media, I noticed that the posts about baked goods that I was sharing were getting a lot more likes, saves, and shares than the other posts. So when I decided to ask the Black Foodie community for tips on making banana bread, the post exploded. It reached so many people and the engagement was incredible. There were people in the comments exchanging tips and recipes. It was the perfect example of the power of an engaged community and an understanding of trends. You don't need an audience of 80,000 people to take advantage of pop culture trends. You can create your own.
Just like skinny jeans and the fufu challenge, data trends are actually easy to spot and then create if you know what you're looking for. For Black Foodie, we figure out what's going on by comparing the performance of our posts. Now, often in the creative industries, people tell you to avoid comparison to stay sane, but this is one area of social media where it's really useful to compare because it can show you how your audience is responding to your content. So, how do you make comparison work for you? Look at your top performing posts over the last week, the last 2 weeks, and the last 30 days. Are any of the post content similar? For us, we like to look at the format of the content to see which is going the furthest. For example, are Reels performing better than image carousels? We also think about the content that's getting the most engagement. Are people commenting more on food porn or recipes? If we realize that the data is showing that certain subjects on Instagram are also popular on TikTok, we'll create content pieces to make the most of the trend.
A lot of creators can fall into the trap of not highlighting their data when it comes to pitching clients too. But when you can point to data trends before you even start a project, you actually convince them of your understanding of your audience and confidence as a digital creator.
Totally. And why? It's because clients are all about getting the best return on investment. So in addition to using the analytics, we also like to ask the Black Foodie community to fill out surveys about their likes, dislikes, and habits. This second set of data has been absolutely essential to our ability to grow and develop projects that our followers and fans love. And it's also helped us pitch more expensive projects to our partners. If you have a creator or a business profile on one of the big social media apps, it's actually really easy to find your community's data. You can usually go into a part of your app called Insights or Analytics to get information on the content you share and the community you share it with. Explore these sections of your apps and click through the different info available to you to figure out what kind of data you actually get to work with. It can be a little bit overwhelming the first time, so take it slow and just look at the data from the last 7 days. If you're a visual person, try using analytics dashboards like the ones provided by Later or Planoly to see your content's performance on a chart over a longer period of time.
Now, if you're curious about how an individual post is doing, there are usually quick insights available on the post itself. Plus, you can publish polls or ask questions in your Instagram or Facebook stories or on your TikTok posts to find out what your audience is actually looking for and what they absolutely are not interested in.
I'd suggest setting a recurring meeting in your calendar to look over your data and analyze it on a regular basis. Be consistent in how often you check your data so you can always take advantage of trends before they peak.
If you're looking for more actionable tips from us, Check out the rest of this series and hit subscribe so you never miss another episode. Peace!